One thing that's always confused me about magnets. How exactly are they rocks? Like, this is a rock. This is a rock. This is rock. This is what happens when Optimus Prime and Mega Man get a little bit frisky. But anyway, here's the deck list. Alright, so the main difference between this deck list and the last one that I showed on my channel is this one's a 30 card deck list. It's a Grass is Greener list. Probably the best thing about this deck compared to other Grass is Greener decks is that this one, it still remains extremely consistent even though it's a 30 card deck. As with the addition of Doki Doki to the Magna archetype, it's a lot easier to search for cards. Not to mention, just about any kind of monster hand with a trap card is a decent hand for you to start the game with. The skill used with this deck also synergizes with Grass is Greener, as what Endless Traphole does is if you have 3 trap cards in your graveyard, you can add 1 to your hand and shuffle the rest into your deck. So obviously if your starting hand consists of a Grass is Greener, you can then activate it. If you send 3 trap cards to the graveyard, you can then add 1 to your hand, get a free trap card. Also, it can allow you to send so many trap cards back into your deck that even if you draw another Grass is Greener later on, it will still have a use. Alright, so how exactly does the Magnet deck work? Well, your deck has 2 win conditions. The first being Valkyrion the Magna Warrior, and the second being a kind of slow control style which we'll talk about a little bit later on when we go through the trap cards. So as I've already done a video on Magnet Warriors before, I don't want to go through them too much, but basically the way you summon Valkyrion is to send Delta the Magna Warrior to the graveyard once you have a bunch of other Magnet Warriors in your graveyard. This is why things like Grass is Greener is really good for this kind of deck, as it already helps put a bunch of magnets in your graveyard already. Delta the Magnet Warrior also has the added effect of when it is normal summoned or special summoned, you can send 1 Magnet Warrior card from your deck to the graveyard, including a copy of itself, which can be another way to get Valkyrion out. Or you can just send any other old Magnet Warrior card to the graveyard, so that when Delta dies, it can help you get Valkyrion out. The other Magnet Warrior card that will go through is Beta the Electromagnet Warrior. What this card does is it's basically just a super searcher. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can then add 1 Magnet card to your hand. Normally you'll just add another Delta. Plus, at any point during your opponent's turn, you can activate its effect, send it to the graveyard, and special summon 1 Magnet card to the board. So this can be a super powerful effect, as it can be used to dodge any kind of removal spell your opponent has, or it can be used to get out your Delta to the board, which will activate its effect since it's being special summoned. Alright, now I'll go through the more new additions to the archetype, as I didn't go through these last time I did a Magnet video. Alright, so the first and most important is Doki Doki. What Doki Doki does is it allows you to discard 1 rock-type monster to special summon from your deck 1 rock-type monster that has the same original attribute and level as that monster. So obviously this card is super good for magnets, as 1, it allows you to send more magnets to the graveyard, 2, it allows you to special summon a bunch of your magnets which can all proc their special summon effects, which sends more magnets to the graveyard. The next card is Block Golem. Basically Block Golem's in here kind of as a second copy of Beta, as it does synergize with Doki Doki to get Beta out onto the board. And I personally think that Beta is a strong enough card in this deck that you kind of want to have Block Golem for the chance of this effect happening. Block Golem also has the effect of you contribute it to special summon 2 level 4 or lower rock type monsters from your graveyard onto the board. The last monster addition to this deck is Lost Guardian. What this card does is it gains 700 defense for every banished rock type monster you have. Not only does Valkyrion banish a bunch of rock type monsters when you summon it, the control style of this deck also allows you to banish a lot of rock type monsters. Which brings me on to the next part of this video, the control win condition. So this deck runs a ton of trap cards for controlling. This includes Floodgate Traphole, Paleozoic, World Disruption, and also Triamid Pulse. What Triamid Pulse does is it's a continuous trap card that allows you to banish 2 rock type monsters from your graveyard once per turn to activate its effects. The 2 effects you'll be able to use are target 1 other face-up card in the field, destroy it, or target 1 rock type monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. So obviously with a deck like this, you are sending a shit ton of rock type monsters to the graveyard, including a bunch of rock type monsters that can't even be used with Valkyrion. So a card like this is perfect for the deck. Plus, not to mention, both of its effects are really useful, as the first one can help you get Valkyrion out, as you're doing special summons, which help with all your special summon monsters. And the second one, of being able to destroy 1 face-up card in the field, is really useful in this control style of deck. The other control style trap cards in the deck I won't really go through, as they're in a ton of other decks and they're super popular, so I don't really think you need me to go through them. The other card that's in this deck that isn't really that popular is Powerful Rebirth. What Powerful Rebirth does is it allows you to special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard onto the board, so this can be super useful in this deck as obviously you have a ton of monsters that like to be special summoned to proc their special summoning effects, plus with something like Grass is Greener, you're going to have a ton of monsters in your graveyard that can be used with Powerful Rebirth. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for the talking part of this video. I do apologise for how late this video was to come out. It's been a very busy month. There should be 3 videos I've got lined up, one on Duel and a couple on the GX stuff when that eventually comes out, so looking forward to that. Thank you guys for watching. The rest of this video should just be 5 gameplays showing off this deck in action. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and I hope to see you in the next one.